Back again to Q Rose on sports. All right. Now, last night was crazy. Stephen Castle, I can say one thing about the Spurs. The Spurs after last night look like real contenders, not pretenders, contenders. And it didn't have nothing to do with Wembanyama. All right. Last night, Stephen Castle had his welcome to the NBA moment. And I mean one of the good ones. The boy put up a 40-point triple double, and the Dallas Mavericks couldn't do nothing with him. I watched it personally. Every first step he took, he was gone. They couldn't do nothing with him. Not to mention De'Aaron Fox, he gonna get his money. Keldon Johnson was locking up all over the place, getting blocks. And Wembanyama, the alien gonna do what the alien does. But that's not the point. The point is those other guys around him. These guys are serious. And if you're not taking the San Antonio Spurs as actually guys that can win a championship right now, then you're not paying attention to everybody around Wembanyama. They've constructed that team, and I was a little nervous at first when they didn't make a move at the trade deadline, only because they had so many pieces they could turn into a move. But if you can get deep in the playoffs with this roster, who knows what's to come in the future for these guys? Because right now, they look like they want to win it right now. Not tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, right now. They want to get it this year. Not in 2 years, not in developmental. They're trying to get it done. And after what I've seen, it's hard for me to argue with it. Whew. Another big thing that we saw last night was James Harden's debut with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He put up 23, a solid 15 points in the fourth quarter. He was exactly what they needed to get over the hump and win that game. Now, would that mean something deep in the playoffs for them? Way better than what it meant with Darius Garland. The team already looks like they're moving way more fluid. James Harden just seems like he's better equipped to handle this team than Darius Garland was. Now, Darius Garland, I think, will be amazing with the Clippers and whatever mess they got going on over there. Because after shipping off Zubac and James Harden, I'm like, the only reason why they didn't get rid of Kawhi is because Kawhi took that money, and right now they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do with Kawhi. Is he gonna get suspended? Or the Clippers gonna have to pay some type of fine? Only time will tell. But I know one thing: the guy who owner of the Clippers, they gave Kawhi that money. Shoot, that's a cool owner. He said, "Fuck it." He trying to win. Okay, and what they say out there in Boston, the Patriots guys. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Oh my goodness. But yeah, James Harden. Is this a viable future for him? Do we got the next 2 years of James Harden being able to do something significant with the Cleveland Cavaliers? I tell you who's benefiting right now. The tall, what's the tall? Jared Allen, Afro Dynamite. Okay, he had 29 and 10. James Harden is gonna live it up to those guys, him and Mobley, and he's one of the best at doing it. We've seen him make a career for Clint Capella. Now, Jared Allen, in my opinion, is bigger and stronger than Clint Capella. So dishing it out, giving him lobs is not going to be a problem. James Harden is still one of the most skilled players that the NBA has today. At 37 years old, or is he 36? He on the wrong side of 30. Let's call it that. Now, one game that I couldn't even finish, it made me want to throw up, was the goddamn Lakers and Warriors game. Oh my goodness, that game. I cut on the game, right? Luka not playing, Steph not playing. The first half was absolute dog shit. Okay, uh, they Pat Spencer. The Warriors was starting a guy that played field hockey. Now the guy has a nice hook shot or whatever, but I don't want to see that shit. I want to see Stephen Curry out there playing against Luka. Okay, because watching LeBron try to navigate that team. He had 20 and 10. They won. But that first half was dog shit. He must have really brought it out in the second half because that first half was unwatchable. But shout out LeBron for getting the win. Hopefully, hopefully, they do something come this season in the playoffs. Because if not, it's hard for me to see LeBron keeping a Laker uniform, especially with Austin Reeves being the clear second best player in LA. And if you disagree, you ain't watching. LeBron is just disengaged. He's not the same type of beast that he once was. And I don't think it has anything to do with his skill set or his body, his athleticism. Those seem to still be intact. He doesn't seem like he has the hunger. Austin Reeves still hungry. Luka wake up every morning and eat breakfast in bed. That boy stay hungry. Now LeBron, on the other hand, a billionaire, staying hungry is kind of hard, man. Like my uncle says all the time, when you got on them silk pajamas, it's hard to get up in the mornings. All right. Now, one of the biggest things that happened, historical things that just happened last night. Nikola Jokic just passed Oscar Robertson for second all time in triple doubles. And it'll be a matter of time before he's first because he's that good. Nikola Jokic is a walking stat stuffing machine. I don't think it's a better player in the NBA. It just isn't. He's proven it yet again. Come playoff time, Nikola Jokic is going to be a problem. OKC had to do it in 7 games, and they let Alex Caruso rough him up. And they did that because I don't think that Nikola Jokic bitches enough. It is what it is. Fussing in this NBA gets you calls. It gets you all type of benefits if you're willing to cry. Nikola Jokic is not that type of player. He's not. And I commend him for that. He's not going to be sitting around bitching all day. He's going to get back and play basketball. And I think that the NBA is kind of fucked up for rewarding all these crybabies. Like, big fan of Luka. You know, I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, so, you know, I loved him when he was here. You know what I'm saying? But Luka is a fucking crybaby. And he gets so many calls because he's crying all the time. All right? I don't like it. I don't like when people are always crying. LeBron James is always crying. Okay? That let's just hope none of that rub off on Austin Reeves because there's enough tears in LA. They can fill up the goddamn Mississippi River with all that damn crying and tears that they keep producing out there in LA. So, hey, it is what it is. If you don't like it, watch the games because you ain't gonna like it either. Because I don't like it. All that crying is not, well, it seems like it is necessary. So, if you want to win, you better bring some tissues. Now, one thing I am confused about, I'm not understanding the trade that was made by the Golden State Warriors. They traded what seemed like to be a valuable piece in Jonathan Kuminga. And they traded Buddy Hield for, I gotta look down again because it's that confusing. Kristaps Porzingis? Like, you traded two players that play for a player that never plays? I don't understand what the Golden State Warriors were thinking. If you're gonna trade for a player, right, Usually trade for a player that's going to play. I mean, I haven't seen Porzingis since Boston Celtics won the finals. When last time you seen Porzingis? I am behooved. I'm vexed at the move that was made by the Golden State Warriors. Are they trying to ruin Steph Curry's prime? You got rid of a shooter and you got rid of. I just thought they was going to get something, a draft pick or something for Jonathan Kuminga. He's clearly a good player that obviously just doesn't fit what the Golden State Warriors are doing. But just because he doesn't fit doesn't mean you have to fuck yourself. And that's what it seems like the Golden State Warriors are doing for some reason. I don't know. I need I want it so bad for the Golden State Warriors to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's what I wanted because I think Steph Curry deserves another chance to compete. We all know that Jimmy Butler tore his ACL. They're going to get playoff hopes right there, okay? Because playoff Jimmy is a thing. But right now with Steph Curry, yeah, they got 28 and 25 record. I think that's eighth in the West. That ain't gonna get it done. And it don't look like no help is coming anytime soon for the chef, Stephen Curry. Sucks. Sucks to see your career going out like this. But Steph's gonna have to make a move, okay? Because these guys in the Golden State Warriors are gonna have to go rebuild or nothing at this point. You got Curry at your one. Draymond Green, he ain't getting no younger. Jimmy Butler just tore an ACL. Kristaps Porzingis, who the hell knows when he's gonna ever play? If he don't play one more game for the rest of the season, would you be surprised? Because I wouldn't. I don't even know what his injury is right now. He just seemed like he just show up and get hurt just from being too tall. There's a couple players that I've given up on. Okay, Kristaps Porzingis, Anthony Davis. Those are the obvious ones about health issues that you can give up on. But there's two more that people might have some pushback on. But let's call it what it is. Joel Embiid is doing great right now. He just put up another 30-point performance last night. And he's kicking ass. But God dang, this man's, if you look at his track record, his health every single year is a problem. A problem. He's kicking ass right now, but would you bet on him being healthy come playoff time? Because I wouldn't. I would not bet. I would not make that bet that he's going to be healthy enough to play all the playoff games. Let's hope he's healthy enough to play some of the playoff games. Because Maxey has been playing his ass off. He's an all-star, and he deserves to have somebody beside him come playoff time. Because Paul George up here taking drugs, and he not gonna be there. So, Joel Embiid, stay healthy. I'm rooting for you to stay healthy this time. Please stay healthy. Maxey is from the DFW area. That's where I'm from. So I'm a big fan of Maxey. Stay healthy for the boy Maxey, because he's been holding down the fort while you've been injured. God, man, I wish these guys would just get healthy. It ain't that easy, I guess. All you do is play basketball and train. But whatever. I ain't 7'3" with bad knees. I'm only 6'3" with bad knees. All right. Last but not least, the Dallas Mavericks. Whoo, they got they ass whooped today. Whooped by the San Antonio Spurs. It was bad. It was real bad. The San Antonio Spurs had 100 points on the Mavericks. It was still like 6 minutes left in the third quarter. It ain't gonna get it done. I don't fully know what the direction is going to be moving forward, But some of these players are going to have to figure out how to guard some of these dynamic guards in the league. Because you can't have point guards in whatever point guards that ain't never scored more than 30 points all year. Put up 40-point triple doubles on your head, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing you could do about it. I seen that man go by everybody. He went by Najee Marshall. He went by Cooper Flagg. He went by Brandon Williams. He went by PJ Washington. Some of those guys are supposed to be really good defenders. And he made them look suspect. He made them look like he was the future. And we already know Wemby the future. So we can't be adding extra futures, or else it's already over for the league. I know OKC right now is quivering in their boots at what the San Antonio Spurs is doing. Because right now, they look like real legit threats to dethrone the Western Conference. Not just Western Conference, but whole NBA champions. Get it together, Dallas. Because Coop today, he tried. He tried so hard, and he's been trying so hard that he overextended his knee. I seen Cooper Flagg overextend his knee, and I was very concerned. They didn't put him back in the game, and it got out of hand. It was getting out of hand at that point anyway, but it got super out of hand when Cooper Flagg was not able to get in the game. It's sad that we can't get nobody to run this offense. There are some decent players here. Max Christie is a good shooter. Okay, Najee Marshall, one of the best slashers in the NBA. He's proven it. He's proven it. I ain't seen a guy with this much touch around the rim. You either got to be a big man with that just lives around the rim, or I've seen Kyrie with his floaters. Najee Marshall is that type of threat. With that being said, Jason Kidd, you got to figure out a way for these guys to stop some of these dynamic guards. Because 40 points from Stephon Castle is not going to get it done. Okay? We're going to see what's going to happen in the offseason. Because Dallas Mavericks, this season is a wrap. Especially after Cooper just hyperextended his knee. After 4 games in a row with plus 40 points, plus 30 points. This is the same thing that happened to Kyrie Irving. Okay? Kyrie Irving came out and was putting on a display. But what it was there was nobody else to be able to handle the load. And then he got injured. Terrible to see. Can't have that same thing happen in the Cooper Flagg. We need somebody else to handle the load. If not, you're going to end up with a Kyrie Irving situation. Because Cooper Flagg, his leg looked like it went back the same way Nikola Jokic's leg went back. And you know, Nikola Jokic missed a significant amount of games. A significant amount of games that might keep him out of being in contention to win awards. And now it sucks, because that messes with your money. But with the new CBA, that's what the players signed for. Players signed for 65 games at least for you to be able to win awards. It was a way to get rid of load management that they was doing that was just extensive, too extensive. And I know it sucks for a player like Nikola Jokic that comes out and plays every single time he's able to play. But that's the CBA and the leaders of the CBA that signed that contract. So I don't like seeing load management. I'm not a fan of it. You know, I go to the games, and I go to a lot of games. My uncle has season tickets to the Mavericks, and I see a lot of games. Shout out my uncle. That's my Uncle James. You're very appreciated. I see a lot of Maverick games. With that being said, when I show up to a game and somebody ain't playing, it hurts my feelings. I want to see the best play. That's just part of the game. You want to see the best play. I don't come here just to support the Mavericks. I go there to see the best, most talented players in the NBA, in the world. So if you can play, please play. If you can play. If you can't play, if you're hurting, whatever, I get it, man. But let's just not. I don't like the not playing just because I don't feel like playing. they're like, oh, we just want to be careful. So he ain't injured. You're just not playing him. He's not even injured. That's dumb. I don't like that. Last point on that, on this low management thing. Okay, LeBron James said he said it. I heard him say it after he didn't play a back to back. His excuse was, oh well, I'm LeBron James. I've played the most minutes ever in the NBA, so back to backs now are gonna be questionable. I'm like, bro, nobody wanna hear that shit. Okay, back to back's gonna be questionable. Is your contract questionable? Because you get max contract money. Don't nobody want to hear nobody getting max contract money talk about back to back's gonna be questionable. Okay, you say you 41 or whatever, then retire. Okay, either hoop or retire, because ain't nobody trying to hear that. It's a lot of players that want your position, that want your spot, that need that money. You a billionaire taking max money, and you talking about you don't want to play because you don't feel like playing, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. All right. With that being said, all you players stay healthy. All right. Signed out.